My sister put mousetraps in my 8-year-old daughter's shoes, then filmed on her phone while my child cried. My mother waved it off. It's nothing. That was the last straw. I didn't forgive them, even when they came crawling back, begging me. My alarm chirped twice and went quiet. I got up right away. Not because I felt great, because mornings in our place didn't wait for anyone. In the hallway, my 8-year-old Sophia was already standing with her backpack, thin, focused, the kind of kid who hates to be late. "Mom, where are my sneakers?" "By the door," I said, tying my scarf and helping her into her jacket. The coat rack clattered in our narrow hallway. 3 women. 1 small apartment outside Seattle. Me, my mom, Gloria, and my younger sister Carolina, the one who always had a live stream going. From the next room, Carolina's voice popped like a bubble. "Hey guys!" Best morning prank for families. Watch this. I froze. In our home, prank always meant one thing. Someone would cry, usually me or my kid. "Found them!" Sophia bent by the bench, pulled out her sneakers, and slid her foot into the left one. Click. The world shrank to that sound. She shrieked, high and small, and yanked her foot back. A real metal mousetrap snapped around the insole. The right sneaker had one too. It smacked shut when she touched it. Laughter burst from the doorway. Carolina stood there with her phone up, recording. "Did you guys see that?" She jumped. "It's a prank!" "Hit like." I flew forward, ripped the trap off, checked my kid's toe. A red welt rose across the nail. Her jaw clenched so hard her cheeks shook. "Don't start," Gloria sighed, stepping out with her coffee. "It's a joke." She's not made of glass. "A joke?" I pulled Sophia behind me, blocking the camera. "You put a mousetrap in a child's shoe." Carolina tilted her phone. "Relax, it's content. People love family pranks." "People love laughing at pain," I said. "That doesn't make it okay." "Someone here needs to chill," she sing-songed. "I'm making us go viral." Gloria snorted. "At least your sister earns. You? A cafe job and a kid. Be grateful she's popular. That old cold rose up in me, the kind that lives under your ribs." I looked at Sophia's tear-bright eyes, at her red finger where she'd poked the trap. Something inside me clicked shut, the same way that metal bar had. "Put on your rain boots," I told Sophia. "We're late." Carolina panned the phone like a cat tracking a laser. "Mom, tell her not to ruin the stream." Subscribers hate toxic energy. "Toxic?" I stared at her. "Toxic is putting traps in a kid's shoes." "It's a trend," she said. "Do you even know how the internet works?" Sophia pulled on a boot and looked up at me. "Mom," she said, calm and even, "I don't want to live here anymore." Not a tantrum. A truth. It shook my hands more than any scream. I got my phone, found the number, and hit call. "Mrs. Helen Brooks?" "It's Morgan Wells." "I remember," said a dry, steady voice. "I've got a spare room." "Don't bring whining. We're coming today." My daughter and I. "Come," she said, "and bring the keys to your resolve." I hung up and looked around our hallway. Ring light, tripods, a box of gags, fake roaches, a plastic poop, 2 more mousetraps, an altar to cheap attention. "We're leaving," I said. Gloria raised her brows. "To that old witch in Oregon?" "She won't take you in." "She just did." Carolina smirked. "You'll hate it." No action, no content, no life. Who's gonna subscribe to your sob story? I looked at my sister and saw nothing living. Only the cold ring light glow bouncing off a screen. "Let silence subscribe to us," I said. "I've been waiting for it." We packed in 20 minutes. Sophia's backpack, a folder of papers, a couple of shirts, a jacket. I took one photo. Sophia on a swing, laughing. Carolina behind her, no phone in her hand. Real eyes, real smile. There was a time when laughter didn't hurt. Gloria blocked the door. Don't you dare take that child. I'm not leaving you, I said. I'm going toward us. Carolina shouted from the doorway, No one opened that door for you! This is my house. The door? I said. I open it myself. Outside, drizzle. Pavement shining like glass. Mom, Sophia asked, are we really not coming back? We'll come back when we want to, I said, but we're going to live where no one films our pain. We walked to the bus stop, and for the first time in years, I didn't look back. The bus to Portland came fast, like it had been waiting for my yes. I bought 2 tickets, sat Sophia by the window. Mom, she said, forehead against the glass, can we get a dog? If we want one, I said, smiling. Tomorrow, we start over. We arrived near sunset. Wet leaves, an old swing, a porch light. On the steps stood Mrs. Helen Brooks, tall, silver hair, a coat thrown over a house robe, keys in hand. Inside, she said. Soup's cooling. Talk after dinner. The house met us with quiet and the smell of bread. Old pictures on the wall. A simple table. No ring lights. No tricks. Just warmth. Sophia sat on a high stool, legs swinging. Bed at 9, Helen said. School tomorrow. The teacher is strict but fair, I nodded. Her words didn't feel like orders. They felt like beams, like the bones of a place where life holds. Next morning, Helen walked Sophia to the local elementary school and mapped my new world with me. Grocery, clinic, bus, post office. On the corner, a tiny cafe. Sign on the door, help wanted. You'll go in? Helen asked. I'll go in, I said, and breathed in freshly ground coffee. The owner, Katie, looked me over with quick, kind eyes. Got experience? A little. Can you smile? I can. Then you'll learn the rest. Hours are tight. Tips are honest. Deal? Deal. By noon, I was wiping tables and messing up orders. No foam isn't the same as no milk. Apologizing, trying again, and not giving up. By close, my legs hummed and my pocket held $25 in cash and a lunch voucher. For the first time in a long time, I felt tired without shame. At home, Helen drilled homework. There, she said, gentle but firm. Kick mistakes out before they move in. I set a small pie on the table, bought with my change. Dessert after grammar, Helen said. Sophia saw the soften in her eye. She smiled. Tonight was an exception. Our rhythm found us. Days in the cafe, learning the difference between sweet but no syrup and no sweet but vanilla, apologizing in a way that people believe, smiling when I wanted to drop. Evenings at home, dinner, homework, the washer humming, sticky notes on the fridge. Nights, tomorrow's list. Mornings, deep breath, 3 steps to the door, go. A week later, I took a second job downstairs with Mrs. Patterson, the neighbor with sharp eyes and weak knees. I do it myself, she said, but the joints won't let me. Dust, floors, milk. The cat will complain. He runs this place I cleaned. Made soup. Changed sheets. I tried to refuse money. She tucked a 20 into my palm. That's not for cleaning, she said. That's for my peace. Peace is expensive. The line stuck in my head like a good song. Peace is expensive. School stuck to Sophia the way the new coat stuck to her shoulders. On week 2, she came home with puffy eyes. What happened? I asked. Some girls said I live with a witch, she said. I told them it's better to live with a smart old lady than with foolish adults. I laughed and held her tight. Helen stayed strict, but under her coat there was a softer lining. One day she came back from the market with a yellow hood full of light. A rain jacket, she said. On sale. Your color? Sophia pulled it on. Her spine lifted. Rubber boots later, Helen added. Autumn's long. Saturdays turned into our thing. Helen set a big bowl on the table. Wash hands. We're making cookies. Sophia dusted herself in flour and pinched the edges like Grandma. I caught myself thinking, this is family. Not the hugs for the camera. The same crease on a cookie. In the cafe, I learned names and drinks. Mr. Lamb, black coffee, nothing else. Miss Ortiz, latte with oat milk. Nurse Rachel, double shot. She just got off nights. Katie said, you don't just bring coffee. You hand people their normal back. That's rare. She was right. We were building a place folks wanted to return to. Sometimes my phone buzzed. Carolina. How's Boringville? I deleted it. Gloria. Ungrateful child. Your sister misses you. Come back. I didn't answer. Silence was kinder than their words. Evenings, I sat with Mrs. Patterson, pills by the clock, warm compresses, quiet talk. She passed me a box of old papers one night. Church resell, she said. And the key, top shelf. Tag says, attic. Air the place out come spring. I slipped the key into my pocket. Some things don't need words right away. Sophia kept blooming. In school, they were learning dough and she ran home dusted head to toe. How do I make it fluffy? She asked. Strain the flour. Don't rush, Helen said. Dough loves warm hands and a quiet house. She said it and looked at me like she finally saw not a girl with mistakes, but a woman who knows what she's doing. On our fridge, a new life grew. Work shifts, reading logs, bus route, a tiny paper lightning bolt Sophia cut out that said truth. At night, I opened my notebook. One more early shift equals money for school clothes. Next month equals a bookshelf. Dreams stopped being luxuries. They turned into a plan. Helen started bringing things that matter. A pack of notebooks, a marker set, another hook for the hallway. It's easier to keep order when each person has their hook, she said. She was right. 3 coats, 3 bags, 3 pairs in a row. Mornings got smoother. Katie gave me more to do. Close a shift. Count inventory. Then open the shop at 6. Keys felt like proof in my pocket. I stepped out into the dark and breathed the cold. Nothing big happened. Maybe that was the big thing. Texts from Gloria stopped. Carolina's pranks kept popping up in my feed. Someone crying, lots of likes. I scrolled past. Other people's loud lives don't have to be mine. Sophia had old fears, of course. What if they come? And slept with a nightlight. Helen didn't comment. She just placed a small salt lamp on the nightstand. Makes the sleep warmer, she said. It did. By winter, our days clicked into place. I could hear no onions versus a little onion, almond milk versus dairy without missing a beat. In her yellow jacket, Sophia looked like a highlighter in the gray yard, easy to spot from the window. Helen stopped saying bed by 9. At 9, the house just closed the book. At semester's end, Sophia brought home a card, Student of the Month. Caring and honesty. On the back, the teacher wrote, "Thank you for always telling the truth and protecting others." I stuck it to the fridge with a dog-shaped magnet. "An advance," I winked. "For a future dog." The only notifications on my phone now came from the school app and a reminder to visit Mrs. Patterson. An empty DM box didn't feel like a hole anymore. It felt like a window you could open for air. Saturday cookies. Sunday pep talk into my week. You can do this. And then I did. Helen set out soup and poured tea. "Well," she said, dry as ever but warmer somehow. "We live." "We do," I smiled. "Not for likes. For us." Sophia got used to the new school. She made a close friend, Lindsay, the girl who folded paper planes and knew the bus map better than adults. The two of them spread out Helen's old road atlas on the floor and drew routes, argued about transfers. I listened from the kitchen doorway and smiled. They were planning their future like pros. My tired changed. No longer the dull kind that comes from being ground down. The sharp, honest kind you earn after a good shift. My back ached. My hands stung from cleaner. No one laughed when something hurt. That meant more than medicine. We even got a real snow, thick for our area. Sophia ran across the yard in the yellow jacket, easy to spot, like a bright marker on white paper. She came in red-cheeked and asked Helen, "In class we made dough." "How do I make it fluffy?" "Strain the flour." "Don't rush," Helen said. "And remember, dough likes warm hands and a quiet house." That look she gave me, like she finally believed I was the woman I'd been fighting to be, stuck to my ribs. By spring, sun showed up early again. We repainted the scuffed walls. Helen grumbled and helped anyway. "At least now it won't look peeled," she said, hiding a smile in her cup. Sophia turned 11. 5th grade. Strong grades. Little debates with teachers, polite and true. I realized I wasn't afraid of my alarm anymore. It didn't start panic. It started a day where no one tried to make me small. The cafe got a new owner. Stephanie Park, a young entrepreneur, wanted to breathe life into the place. She posted a sign. "Manager wanted." "You know everything here, Morgan," said Carla, our cook. "Apply before strangers squeeze in." "I'm a server, not a boss," I said. Old beliefs are stubborn. That night, Sophia overheard and said, "Mom, if you ran the cafe, I'd be proud." The words went deeper than any reference letter. A week later, Stephanie handed me keys. "Yours," she said. "You're responsible now." Pay is higher. Monthly bonus if we hit goals. I walked home under blooming lilacs with a warm chest and cold hands. I didn't feel like a failure anymore. Mrs. Patterson, though, was fading. Her body was tired, eyes still sharp. She didn't get up much but said, "Sit. Be with me." Tell me things I told her about dough and yellow jackets and kids who get caring and honesty awards. She soaked it in. "You're a good woman," she said. "You don't wait for gifts." "But I've got one anyway." "For the photos?" I asked. "I'll put them in a box." "For the apartment," she said. Calm. Final. "Papers are with my lawyer." "I'm tired of living alone. You brought life here. Let it serve you." "No, you can't," I started. "I can," she said gently. "Homes die with their owners if no one walks in them. I want to know there'll be tea and laughter and the smell of something baking." A month later, she was gone. The funeral was small. Me, Sophia, a neighbor. Back in her apartment, an envelope sat on the table. Keys inside. A note. "Thank you for your help and kindness. Live like it's yours." I cried long and quiet. Not from grief, though there was grief. From being seen. From not being a shadow anymore. Moving in became a marker in our story. Helen helped, complaining and hauling, bringing trays of seedlings. "At least grow tomatoes if you keep buying flowers," she said, sliding a box of soil our way. Sophia had her own room now. Drawings on the wall. A class photo taped above the desk. "Mom," she said, "I'm not embarrassed to have friends over anymore." "Let it only be crowded because there's love," I told her, and wrapped my arms around her shoulders. 5 more years ran past like a dog off leash. Sophia turned 16, tall, calm, sure. Her eyes said she had a spine. The cafe turned into a small chain. 6 cozy spots around Portland and the nearby burbs. In each one, it smelled like home. Vanilla, coffee, fresh baking. On each wall hung a framed photo of Helen, that firm gaze, knit shawl, and a line underneath. "A warm home starts with clean hands and honest words." Helen went out less. Sight wasn't great. Knees were worse. Mind was iron. I cared for her as gently as she had held us. No fuss. Just love. "Main thing is Sophia grew into a person," Helen would say. "The rest is dust. The rest is just road." I smiled. Then the past knocked. Not a storm, more like a draft under the door. My phone rang at dawn. Unknown number. I was tying my shoes for a meeting with investors.
Morgan Wells?
The man's voice was rough, like he hadn't used it kindly in years.
I'm sorry to call this way.
My name is Ian. I'm Sophia's father. The cup shook in my hands. I sat on the bottom stair.
What did you say? I was in prison, he said. Not for what I did, but for what I didn't do.
I kept my mouth shut when I shouldn't have. I wrote letters. Many. Your mother, Gloria, didn't pass them on. Said you didn't want them. She didn't pass anything, I said. I left stupidly, thinking I'd make money, get clean, do it right, put it on paper. Then I messed up, and everything spun. It's over now. Can I come? I don't want pity. I just want to see my daughter. I was quiet a long time. Come, I said. When he showed up at the door, I didn't recognize him for a breath. Once, Ian wore a leather jacket and an easy grin. Now he stood hunched, gray at the temples, tired corners to his eyes. But the eyes themselves, still kind, still sorry.
Hey, Morgan,
he said softly.
Didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Me neither, I said. Come in. We sat at the kitchen table like we had as kids, except time had piled between us.
I thought about you both. So much, he said. I wrote letters.
I wanted to hear her voice at least once. She's grown, I said. Studying. Working. She knows truth and lies from the inside. The door clicked. Sophia walked in from campus, shrugged off her coat, and froze. Mom, who's this? I stood. This is your father. Silence stretched. Heavy. Real. Ian stood too, ready to leave without a word.
Sophia, he said. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
I ran when I should have stayed. Then it felt too late to fix. I wanted to say this. I'm proud of you. You grew into someone better than I ever imagined being. She stepped closer. Her face tightened, but there wasn't anger in her eyes. Mom, did you know where he was? No, he called today. Sophia breathed out. So you found the door after all, she said. If you came, it wasn't for nothing. She held out her hand. I don't know what to call you yet. Let's start with a handshake. Ian took her hand in both of his, like it might break.
Thank you, he whispered. I don't deserve it, but thank you.
Then he sank to his knees.
I'll give the rest of my life to your happiness.
I don't want to waste any more time. If you'll let me, I'll be near, quietly, help sometimes. See you. Know you're okay. I stood at the window and then walked over, touched his shoulder. Stand, I said. If you want to help, put up a shelf, under Helen's photo. She'd say, enough fuss. Put the kettle on. He laughed once, short, like learning to live again. And just like that, a new chapter started. The part of life where you don't always know what you'll find or lose. But you do know this. In this house, no one laughs when it hurts. A while before Ian's call, another ghost had shown up, the kind with mascara and a shaky smile. One morning, my phone lit up with a name I hadn't seen in years. Carolina. We're in town, she said, syrup around the edges. Things are hard. Can we meet? Where are you? I asked. The train station, she said. We heard your cafes are doing great. An hour later, the doorbell rang. 2 women stood outside, life having carved both of them thin. Gloria, sallow, trembling hands. Carolina, in a cheap jacket, smudged eyeliner, tired grin. Hi, sis, she said. Can we come in? I stepped back. Come in. Helen came out with her knitting, eyes steady. Didn't plan for visitors, she said. Tea's on. Sugars counted. Gloria tried to hold herself upright. We're not asking for handouts, she said. It's just a rough patch. The channel's dead. Sponsors left. Carolina stared at the floor. People got used to noise, she said. I'm tired. I tried. It isn't working. Money's gone. Mom's sick. The apartment's bad. We thought. What did you think? I asked. That you'd help, she said, barely above a whisper. Gloria folded her arms. We're family, she said. We're not strangers. Family is not mousetraps in a kid's shoes for views, I said. I was stupid, Gloria muttered. Felt like I was protecting her. Protecting her from what? I asked. From her conscience? Sophia came out of her room, tall, calm, more woman than girl now. Hello, she said. I remember you. You laughed. Carolina turned pale. Sophia, it was all so dumb. I want to say I'm sorry. I want to ask you something, Sophia said, steady. Did you ever feel ashamed? Even once? When you set the traps. When you laughed, Carolina stared at her shoes. Yes, she whispered. But later. Later isn't never, Sophia said. But forgiveness doesn't come when money does. She looked at me. Mom, I'm going to finish homework. The door clicked. Gloria began to cry, small and brittle. She's grown, she whispered. I didn't know who she is. Of course not, Helen said, eyes on her yarn. While you were chasing likes, someone was growing up in here. I don't want money, Carolina said, standing. I'm so tired. Everything fell apart. No one listens. Everyone forgot. I hoped you'd forgive me. I stared at her a long time. The phone in her hand looked like a lost part of her, not a tool. Forgiveness is possible, I said. Trust is a different thing. So you won't help? Gloria asked. I'll help, I said. I'll pray you find some conscience. But there's no money. I have a daughter, a job, and a life I built without you. Carolina pressed her lips. You changed. No, I said. I just stopped waiting for love from people who laugh at pain. They left. The hallway stayed quiet for a while, like they couldn't make themselves move. Then steps, then nothing. Helen nodded at the door. That's it, she said. The trap shut. Not on you this time. For the first time that day, I smiled from somewhere real. I've been afraid of pain for so long, I said. Let the people who brought it be afraid now. Helen clicked her needles. Strong women don't get revenge, she said. They live. That's scarier. I went to the window. Snow fell easy, no wind. Right below that window, years ago, Sophia in a yellow jacket built her first snowman. Now she was grown. The house was strong. No shadow could knock it down. Time does what it does. It moves. Sophia headed to college, journalism, working in the Student Media Center. Steady, honest. Write it clean. The cafes grew into a small family. 6 spots, vanilla, coffee, fresh bread. Helen's photo on every wall. A warm home starts with clean hands and honest words. Helen spent more days in her chair by the window, less seeing, more knitting. Mind still iron. Main thing is, she's a person, Helen said one night. The rest is dust. The rest is road, I told her. Then drive well, she said, half a smile. That April morning, the phone rang. Ian's voice cracked the air. By lunch, he stood in our kitchen. By dinner, he'd held our daughter's hand. By night, he'd hung a shelf under Helen's picture. We didn't erase anything. We didn't pretend it never hurt. We just agreed on this. We build forward. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. See you next time.